I can show you different theories. Here, for instance, are the centers of mass and how it moves in the body. And you can see the swing center circle. It's very clear. But there's also other theories, such as leverage. So you have a short lever. This is Mike Austin. And then you drive that lever up, showing the short lever on the top there. So you're really stacking your joints and standing your leg up, driving that shoulder up, parametric acceleration. So another theory that Lee uses is anatomy trains. You can see them in action clearly here. Notice the hands from shoulder to hip movement. Efficient movement, how your body works. Even look at the hips, pelvis really. How you get them stable. And you can use these motions to be more efficient in your golf swing. Little clues are there on how to move better. For instance, the knees are stacked under the joints. And then you can use the knees to drive rotation. Push the right knee forward and the left knee back.
It is only the upper body, namely the torso, which ends up driving the striking arm. And it is only the torso, not the legs nor the butt, which needs to be pivoted or rotated.
Another theory.
Of course, without the input from the lower body, the rotation of the torso would have been impossible. The legs have to generate the initial boost by pushing off the ground. This boost is converted into the rotation of the upper body. And that rotation of the chest and the shoulders propels the arms.
I used to study all these competing theories just to see which one was the best. What I really found was that there wasn't any single best theory, but actually motions that were combined and common to all of them, no matter how you define them with the words. I'll do a little more on that in a moment. Arguments about linear versus rotational movement can be reconciled by realizing that linear patterns turn into rotation. Lastly, I'll introduce you to the A-frame theory. You can actually make a tripod out of it, which I'm showing here. And the A-frame forms from the top of your feet to the top of your head. And it's an easy way of establishing how you move. You can see how the head stays behind the one line of the tripod. So let's show you how I reconciled all of this. So the question becomes, how do I marry all these different theories and showing you all these things? Well, I tested them. I would go through one thing and say, okay, let's try it and see if I improved with my speed. See if I improved with my ball striking. So if you take a concept such as the A-frame, it's really simple. You have reference to where you are, okay, it's pretty easy. Goes to the top of your head and your head's a little right biased. Okay, that fits into the Austin style teaching, where you point your shoulder down to your left foot, point your shoulder down to your right foot. And okay, my pelvis opens. And that kind of goes with, even though he calls it linear, it's not, because you're going to turn your torso and he hits off his side, like this. So there's a marrying of the concepts. So all of the concepts, pretty much you can look at them and say, okay, well, if the torso is the speed, okay, and I initiate it all with my torso, I can do the same things. I can line my joints up underneath my hips like Austin, and the same thing that the anatomy trains are saying, get your joints lined up, and I can use my torso to initiate the arm swing. That's pretty much the same. Okay, so I can get a lot of speed by doing that. So you look at every concept and say, okay, spiral lines. If there's a spiral line that goes this way, there has to be one going this way. So if I bring my hands down from the top, from the shoulder to the hip, and do all the other moves of the knee, moving back and forth like this, like walking, then I can get a tremendous amount of speed from coming from my shoulder down to my left hip. It's very down, it's very fast. Extreme speed if I do that. Now I used to have trouble doing that because I would hit left. So then I just looked at it and say, well, how do I adjust that? How can I get that to a point and do that same move, get up to the top and use the anatomy trains and the movements that match the other methods, and literally turn my torso, use my torso to drive it as well, and guess what? Now I'm super quick. My hand speed went through the roof. And I could match just about anybody with my hand speed. And then simply, because I had a stable base, I started hitting straighter, my head stayed still, and I started hitting the same low point every time. So all I had to do is have a ball get in the way. So you bring those concepts together and you'll get better.